Okay, welcome everyone. We'll now call the December 11th Palm Desert City Council successor agency to the Palm Desert Redevelopment Agency, Palm Desert Housing Authority, and the Palm Desert Board of Library Trustees meeting to order. Can we have, do we want roll call now?
Yes. Councilmember Nestandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto.
Here.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby.
Here.
Mayor Harnick.
Here.
All councils present.
Thank you. Let's have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Perdetto, followed by inspiration. So for a little inspiration today, we have something short and sweet from Heraclitus. The content of your character is your choice. Day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. Okay, do we have a report out from closed session?
No reportable action from closed session this afternoon, Mayor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We have a presentation from the golf cart parade. Do we have, there we go.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Patrick Klein, Board Chair of the Palm Desert Area Chamber of Commerce and also the Chair of this year's Palm Desert Golf Cart Parade.
And I'm Alyssa Williams, the CEO at the Palm Desert Area Chamber of Commerce. And we have a video to show you guys today.
Thanks for indulging us with that video. You get to see what 12, well, really like more like 11 months worth of planning in a 15-hour workday on the parade day, all truncated into a 5-minute presentation on video. So we're here tonight to sincerely thank the City of Palm Desert, City Council, City staff for all their continued support of the Golf Cart Parade. From public safety and traffic control to street closures, logistics, and even serving on the committee, the city's partnership allows us to host a safe, well-run, and family-friendly event that continues to grow each year.
The parade would truly not be possible without the city's support behind the scenes. This event brings together residents, visitors, local businesses, and families, and has become a community tradition that reflects the heart of Palm Desert and the pride in the people of the city.
We are incredibly proud of what this parade has become and grateful to work alongside a city that values community connection and collaboration.
So thank you again for your support and for everything you've done to help make events like this possible. We truly appreciate our partnership with the City of Palm Desert.
Thank you for all you've done. And have you started working on next year's?
No, but-
We've got an ongoing notebook of things that we're going to be doing, but
And we have a meeting scheduled in January.
Perfect. Thank you so
look forward to
much.
seeing you guys again at the parade next year.
Great, thank you. Okay, we will move now to 9B. So I'll ask the city clerk to provide a staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Mejia?
This is the annual appointment of the mayor and the mayor pro tem. In accordance with Resolution 25069, priority for mayor is given to the immediate preceding mayor pro tem. Councilmember Truby served as mayor pro tem for the 2025 term and is therefore eligible member for appointment as mayor of 2026. For the position of mayor pro tem, 3 council members share identical rotation priority. After the mayor's appointment, I'll administer the required tie-break process.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, we need a motion and a second. And I'm going to be so bold as to make the motion to appoint Evan Truby as mayor. May I have a second, please?
I'll second the motion.
May we have a vote?
Councilmember Nestandi?
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto?
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla?
Abstain, no, just kidding. Yes.
Mayor pro tem Truby?
Yes.
And Mayor Harnick?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just had to. I couldn't help it.
Okay. There we are. Thank you. All right. Here we are. In fact, the seat's a little warm. It's a hot seat. All right. So, oh, Anthony, you gave me my cheat sheet. Where's my cheat sheet? There we are.
That's mine.
Oh, yeah. That's mine. I've just hogged up your space, too. Okay, thank you very much. So I appreciate the unanimous vote, and I look forward to this. Here we are. So I will now turn it over to our city clerk to explain the process and guide the council through the selection of
Mr. Mayor?
Mayor Pro Tem. Yes.
If I may, before we move to administering a tiebreaker, I would like to make a suggestion. We have this mayoral rotation policy to help reduce certainty, to produce certainty to the public in a transition of leadership. And I would like to see if we can come to an agreement on a 3-year progression amongst us that are tied without going to tiebreaker, see if we can do it amicably, produce some predictability. And I would start by saying that we're with the presumption that all 3 of us want to serve as mayor pro tem next, but I did not have the formal opportunity to defer, so I want to just check in with my colleagues and see and confirm that both of you are interested in serving as mayor pro tem for the year of '26.
I feel that part of my priorities in switching to districts was to allow the city to have different voices. And it's a priority for me that you get the opportunity instead of being subjected to a potential three-way tie and not have an opportunity. So within the guidelines of the policy, I will defer and not reject my opportunity, and I would then be in consideration for Mayor Pro Tem for the following year. But my suggestion this year is that you take the position, and I hope that would be amenable to others.
And I'm open to actually deferring as well. Councilwoman Nastandi, do you have a preference of whether you serve now or another year?
Well, I thought we had this matter, I'm surprised to hear this right now. I thought with our meeting in October, we discussed pulling straws. And I do plan on following whatever the outcome is that we voted on already.
Though not asked, I'd like to, no, just kidding. We worked long and hard to come up with policy and procedure and put a policy in place. And I would suggest when we make those rules, so we do have something to count on, we go by the rules we made. And that rule was, according to our ordinance that we put in place and that we voted on, that we pull straws. And I would suggest we go by the rules that are in place.
For the record, I'd like to establish that the rules did allow for someone to defer if that was their choice. But now, since there are two of us willing to defer, then I think that we should go back to the policy as stated to draw straws. But just to clarify for future conversations that the policy does in fact allow for deferrals.
And I would like to provide the residents and the staff some certainty in the leadership progression. And we can't guarantee who, if the person who serves mayor in 28, or mayor pro tem, will be given the opportunity in 29 due to the elections. But I think if we can come to an agreement, it sends a good signal that we have a line of progression lined out for the next few years. So
what do we need to move forward?
So, Councilwoman Nastandi, do you have a preference? Would you like to serve this year? Because I think you have two council people who are willing to defer.
I don't want to choose myself. I want to give you equal opportunity. I prefer the drawing of the straws now, but I would have debated this perhaps back in October, but I thought everyone was in agreement on the drawing of straws.
When we had that discussion, I knew that we would have an opportunity to voluntarily defer and come to an amicable agreement. So I would, if we can avoid going to chance, I would prefer that, because if we go to chance now, theoretically, we would go to chance next year, and so we have 2 consecutive years of determining our progression of leadership based on chance rather than deliberate intent.
If I may. The request that's on the agenda is only for the 2026 term, and I think it would be imprudent to follow an additional line of succession because, again, we don't know what our individual circumstances may be. But I think that my goal was to defer to increase your opportunity. As I said, realistically, you are, I believe, the youngest council member ever elected. And that helps, in my opinion, guide what the future of the city should be. And that was my reason for deferral, to increase your opportunity. Again, I am doing that because those are the core values of why I was fighting for districts, because it benefits the city to have unique perspectives and that consideration. But if you are also potentially deferring, then we should go with straws.
Okay, then let's go with straws.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mayor. 3 council members are tied for a priority under the mayor's rotation rules. Each tied member will have an opportunity to decline, defer, participate. So I will just skip that. Thank you. So all three members chose to participate. The tie will be resolved by drawing straws. My deputy is holding 3 identical straws, one of which is the longest. Each council member will draw 1 straw, and the member who draws the largest straw will serve as Mayor Pro Tem. Council members, please approach the deputy and draw a straw as I call your name. The order is based on the alphabetical order of the last name, based on the Secretary of State's randomized alphabet at the most recent election. Based on that order, Councilmember Nastandi will draw first, followed by Councilmember Perdetto, and then Councilmember Quintanilla. So the larger straw was drawn by Councilmember Perdetto, who is therefore selected to serve as Mayor Pro Tem. Council members, please return to your original seats. So that we can proceed with a motion and vote to conclude the appointment.
Okay, do we need to switch seats, Anthony? Oh, beg your pardon, yeah, sorry. Do we have a motion and a second to appoint Councilmember Perdetto
I
as Mayor Pro Tem?
I move the approval.
I'll second the motion.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Perdetto,
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Harnick. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Councilmember Harnick votes
Motion-
yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, if you don't mind, we're going to take a 10-minute quick recess to reset the dais and get everybody moved around and et cetera, et cetera. So thank you. Thanks. We'll just take a few moments to get this all reorganized.
I'm glad I got you.
Thank you so much, everybody. And next item up is item 9C, a proclamation for urban habitat. I would like to invite the representatives from Urban Habitat to join me at the podium. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to, if you'll forgive me, I have to use reading glasses because I did not get the LASIK surgery that Jan did, which let her read up close. Okay. And I got to say, I did attend the event where Urban Habitat was honored, and it was huge. It was at the Riverside Convention Center. This was all of San Bernardino and Riverside County Entrepreneur Awards. This is a huge, huge honor. I'm just so proud. So there we are. Whereas Urban Habitat, a Palm Desert-based landscape contracting firm founded in 2009, has become a regional leader in sustainable landscape design, construction, maintenance, habitat restoration, and public works projects. And whereas Urban Habitat competed in the design, engineering, and construction category at the 2025 Spirit of the Entrepreneur Awards, presented annually by the Randall W. Lewis Center for Entrepreneurship at California State University, San Bernardino. And whereas the Spirit of the Entrepreneur Award program, founded in 2003 by the Randall W. Lewis Center for Entrepreneurship, and now in its 23rd year, honors Inland Empire entrepreneurs whose innovation, risk-taking, and business growth strengthen the regional economy. And whereas Urban Habitat distinguished itself among notable peers through its innovation, exemplary project delivery, strong industry reputation, and vision for continued growth, earning recognition as the top construction company in the region. And whereas Urban Habitat was further selected to receive the program's highest honor, the Best of the Best Award, recognizing the company that best demonstrates entrepreneurial excellence in innovation, perseverance, value creation, and leadership. And whereas Urban Habitat has contributed significantly to Palm Desert and the Coachella Valley by creating sustainable outdoor environments that enhance quality of life, promote water efficiency, elevate public and private spaces, and support local employment. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Evan Truby, Mayor of the City of Palm Desert, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby recognize Urban Habitat for its outstanding achievements and extend heartfelt congratulations for earning both the Top Construction Company Award and 2025 Best of the Best Award, commending its exemplary leadership, innovation, and commitment to excellence. Excellent work. Very, very good. And keep in mind a couple things. Their office is not even a quarter mile from our office here, so they are truly a heart of Palm Desert-based business. Employ how many people? 175, and you're in the top 200 landscape? 113 in the nation. Number 113 in the nation. So very good. I will defer to you, please. No, you have to. You have to. Mayor Truby won't allow that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you don't want to?
No, I just thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, and we're happy to be part of the community. We just moved in and upgraded our building, and we're happy to partner with the city and the community. And you'll see our name out there, and we're part of the Pink, El Paseo Pink, and we'll continue to be part of the community, and we're happy to do it.
I tell you, most humble, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Very, very good. Let's get some photos. Can you come in for some photos? So we're going to get a few photos here for by city staff with the rest of the council. And
I brought my photographer.
there we go, Zeke. There we are. His speech at the Riverside event was equally humble. So this is they have quite an achievement.
mayor should have.
Okay, moving on to item 10, city manager comments. Do you have any comments for us?
I do, Mayor. I'll invite up Lieutenant Porras for a quick update, and thereafter, Randy Chavez will also give an update.
Good afternoon, everybody. Recently, the California Office of Traffic Safety announced their grant awards, and I'm happy to report that the City of Palm Desert received a $76,000 grant to support its ongoing enforcement and education programs to help reduce the number of serious injuries and deaths on our roads. Their grant program runs through September of 2026. With that being said, starting tomorrow, we are starting our winter enforcement mobilization. Running December 12th through New Year's Day, Riverside County Sheriff's Office will be having additional officers on patrol looking for drivers suspected of being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The high visibility enforcement is a national effort to get people to drive sober or get pulled over, with the goal of stopping suspected impaired drivers who put others at risk. We want to make sure everyone gets home safely so they can celebrate the holiday season with their families and loved ones. Not only is driving impaired illegal, but it's also dangerous and never acceptable. We're asking everyone to do their part to keep themselves and everyone safe on the roads. With that being said, I want to highlight the move over law, and I want to show you a short video that we're going to start enforcing a little bit more. We already have been, but if the video is available, go ahead and start it. So with that, starting next year, the move over law also is going to apply to any vehicle that has amber lights. So that's going to incorporate your city staff. So please do a part for everybody's safety and move over. So thank you very much.
Director Chavez.
Yeah, I'd like to defer to Deputy Director Casey Arndt to give the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Casey Arndt, Deputy Director of Public Works. Going to give you a short update on a couple of projects that we have just finished up. First, I'm going to talk about Desert Willow Golf Course. Next slide, please. So here we go. I got the clicker right here. There we go. So we just completed the exterior painting of the Desert Willow Clubhouse. This is what it looked like before. The project began on July 17th. The original exterior colors were darker reddish and purplish tones. Then they had significantly faded and appeared outdated. Working collaboratively with Desert Willow staff, city staff, and the contractor, the team selected new desert tone colors to create a softer, lighter, and more contemporary appearance. And this is, hopefully this works. There we go. And that's what it looks like afterwards. The updated colors better complement the existing stone veneer and are expected to perform better under sun exposure, helping reduce the long-term fading. This project was completed on August 14th, 1 week ahead of schedule. And next, we have the Dinah Shore Roundabout improvements. The city recently completed a series of targeted safety enhancements at the Dinah Shore roundabouts near the Genesis community in response to an increase in traffic collisions in the area. After evaluations by both Kinley Horn Associates and HR Green, several improvements were implemented to improve visibility and create a safer driving environment. The project included updated striping and pavement markings, new reflective markers, rubber mountable curbing, and revised signage. Most notably, a speed reduction from 45 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour within the roundabouts. These upgrades provide clear guidance for drivers support smoother, safer traffic flow. So this is what it looked like before we did the improvements. And here's what it looks like today. You can see all of the improvements, and most notably, in addition to that, 4 off-grid solar-powered lighting units were purchased and installed to significantly improve nighttime visibility. The lights offer strong, reliable illumination without impacting nearby residents within the Genesis community and serve as an interim solution until permanent hardwired lighting is available. Overall, these improvements reflect the city's continued commitment to roadway safety, operational efficiency, and reducing collisions along the important corridor. Have any questions? Thank you very much.
And lastly, I'll invite up Andrea Staley, our HR Director, to talk about our recent internship program.
Hello, Mayor and City Council members. Andrea Staley, HR Director here at the City of Palm Desert and Project Coordinator for the internship program. So I am happy to share the following video highlighting our internship program, which was put together by our very own intern in our marketing area, Annalise. Roll it. So I know I am extremely proud of our interns, and I'm appreciative for our staff members. And as you can tell, it's been a beneficial program for both our COD students as well as the city. So before I conclude, I do want to mention the interns and supervisors who are here in attendance. So we have Oscar, who you all met, who did a presentation at a previous council meeting. So Oscar, if you can just stand. And Paul and Pedro, who are staff mentors for development services. Ray, who was our library intern, Jose and Cynthia, who were the staff mentors, Annalise, who you saw did the video, Todd, who was the staff mentor, Sean, who was the finance intern, Michelle, who was the staff mentor, and they tried to sneak away from me, but also Jenna and Carlos, who served as the staff mentors in our IT department. So thank you, everyone. It was fantastic, and we look forward to doing it again. That's it. Thank you.
Nothing additional, Mayor.
Okay, excellent. That internship program, big fan, love it. Okay, we move on to item 11. We have mayor and council member reports and requests for action. We're going to start on that side, move to that side. So if you will, Councilmember Quintanilla, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Lots to do and lots to report. The Filipino Festival had been rescheduled, and I had the opportunity to attend on the 22nd, and it was packed despite the rain, which was good to see people from all over the valley, including Palm Desert, enjoying the local opportunities to have our culture, and people coming from as far as Los Angeles and San Diego. I attended the McCallum Theater Gala, and that was very neat because I hadn't heard of those artists, and it was surprising to me that not surprising, just the caliber of acts and performers that we have here. I mean, Paul Enga that's coming, and the mariachi performers with the Christmas music. Mayor Truby and Mayor Pro Tem Pradetto, we went to the Living Desert Wildlights donor reception, which was great. We learned about the Paras monkeys and how they're rare even in captivity. We were told how many millions to go they have for the lion exhibit, so I'm sure they'll be back to remind us here. The three of us also attended the Cal State San Bernardino Student Success Topping Out, which we were there to sign the final beam, and was a testament to the work that has been done from the community at all different levels of government to benefit students. And Community Service Officer Austin, Stacy Austin, does a lot of great work, and she left some of the blue envelope lanyards. So we have these available, and this is another way to indicate, even if your loved one isn't driving, if they wear the lanyard, this still has the opportunity to inform someone of an invisible disability. And I'll leave some of the Pops Luncheon in case you want to talk about that. And Birreria Sinaloa, there was a ribbon cutting for them today. Authentic Mexican food, can't get better than that. And that's it for my report. I do have a request for action. There is an herbal supplement which is actually turned lethal, but the FDA can't do anything to regulate it because it is considered a supplement. Kratom is similar to coffee. They're in the same family, but it does have the substances are hydroxymitragynine, and the synthetics version is available and made and manufactured with greater potency. It's presented as a pain management tool equivalent to morphine. Some people have said it has helped them get off of an opioid addiction, while others are reporting it's causing them addiction to that. It is being sold in gas stations, in tobacco shops, vape stores, and I believe that it's our responsibility as a community not only to educate, because people are assuming, oh, it doesn't say it has THC, it's sold next to the CBDs, this is perfectly safe, but we don't know the long-term effects. Right now it is in San Diego, as of 2016, they have banned possession, distribution, sale, and manufacturing. Oceanside has done the same. Newport Beach, no sale or distribution within the city limits. Fresno, Sacramento have banned the sale. Orange County, possession, distribution, sale, including the synthetics. LA County sale, including the synthetics. Fresno County synthetic ban only, limited to the natural leaf and in unincorporated areas. And right now, the Riverside County says it's legal for those 21 and over and regulated the concentration from the synthetic. But I believe that if we take the approach that some of the other cities have, I feel that it is the best public interest to establish a policy now that bans the sale, possession, distribution, and manufacturing of something when we don't know long-term effects that are causing even psychosis in children because we don't know what's in it. So I humbly ask for my peer support in the name of public health.
I'll support looking at it, yeah.
Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi.
I too have a call for action. A longtime business owner reached out to me, and he's actually a golf cart dealer. And he reminded me of the history of golf carts and the making of golf carts being street legal. That all started here in Palm Desert, our predecessors in the 1990s on the city council. And yeah. Oh, 1973, even before the 1990s. We were ground zero for setting the standard that Governor Wilson signed into law, that golf carts could operate on the street if they met certain standards. However, leapfrog to today, and our city is classifying golf cart dealers as the same as an automotive dealer. Hence, they can only be located near gas stations, and the locations are very limited. And the request is to have staff look at perhaps reclassifying golf cart sales as retail versus automotive. The issue got brought up because this particular business owner who's been here for years has to relocate because his lease is up. And he brought it to my attention, and I think it makes sense to revisit it.
Yeah, I would support that. We have an auto zone in a retail space, and they have all kinds of chemicals there and oil, and so I think makes sense.
Yes, I forgot to leave that part out. There's no gasoline involved.
Thank you, Gina. And on to Councilmember Harnick.
Much. I have just a few things we did at RCTC. I guess that was yesterday. We did move a little further with the train. So we have more money allocated and more planning, and that's going to begin in January. We are on the second level EIR, and it's moving, and it's going not as fast as we'd like, but there is progress. I did want to mention that we had cocoa with the mayor at Carter Elementary on Tuesday, and it was for 3rd to 5th graders, and our fire professional showed up, inspired many students to want to become firefighters. And also the sheriff's and Deputy Abrego, who you may have seen on that video, showed up and spoke to the students, and they were very inspired. And he was inspirational with requesting they work hard and get good grades. But he talked about his job, and it was a great effort to remind these young people that the sheriffs and firefighters are their friends. So it was really successful. The other thing, all of us who have dogs, cats, or whatever animal you might have or may have had, our staff has put a forever tree next to our dog park. So if you would like to go and put some sort of ornament on it, kind of commemorating, celebrating your animal, it's there for you at the dog park, right near the roundabout where you can go into College of the Desert or go into the YMCA. But please go take an ornament, put something on that tree about your animal, and we can all share that together. And that's what I have.
Terrific, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
I have a request for action. This is our first meeting back since Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone enjoyed the holiday. It allowed me the opportunity to reflect on what I'm thankful in our community. And one of the things that was really high on that list is the personal liberties we have. November was Palm Springs Pride Month, and I am thankful for my LGBT friends and the liberties they enjoy, and that the city is welcoming to everyone. In fact, little known fact, I was the officiant for more than a score of gay and lesbian weddings, where I was honored to celebrate couples as they exercise their right to love and marry without discrimination. And it is because I value that freedom with such high regard that I am raising an issue today. Who you love is a matter of personal liberty, and I believe that government must stand strong to protect those liberties. However, I do not believe that government should get in the business of celebrating the private identities of one group over another. The city's current policy gets our role wrong. The government's role should be like that of a neutral referee. We ensure the rules are fair and that everyone's rights are protected, but we do not pick favorites to cheer for. This is a policy that I call personal liberty, government neutrality. When the government uses public facilities to elevate one group, even with the best of intentions, it suggests the implicit prioritization of one group's identity over others. It shifts our focus from what we share as citizens to what separates us into categories. We have reached a point where our community is welcoming and integrated, and we must avoid well-intentioned government speech from creating division where social harmony already exists. More importantly, we don't need a special banner to state our support for the LGBT community because we have Resolution 2018-09. That resolution already states our city's commitment to diversity, explicitly affirming our respect for the residents regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. However, even that resolution could be improved to better reflect our goal of a truly integrated community. So I'm asking my colleagues to support the direction of asking staff to return with 2 items. First is an action to rescind Resolution 24-038, discontinuing the practice of displaying a banner on City Hall. And second, an item to update Resolution 2018-09. I want to strengthen that commitment and that document by shifting its focus. In the 6th paragraph of that resolution, it encourages residents to celebrate each other's differences. Instead of celebrating our differences, which emphasizes what separates us, we should pledge to celebrate the values that unite us. And that is how we build an inclusive and welcoming community. So I would say let's move away from distinctions of our demographics and focus on the unity of our community.
I would support revisiting the policy.
Sometimes we ask for a third.
Okay, I support that as well.
Very good. Okay, that's all. All right, so my turn. Busy last couple weeks, but I'll dispense with all the stuff. I think Karina covered a lot of what we did, and a lot of fun. But I got to say, with my new role here as mayor, without a doubt, this is the biggest honor of my life, and not the biggest day, Kristen. That would be the birth of my children, wedding day, et cetera, et cetera. So let's make sure we make that distinction. But absolutely, without a doubt, this is the biggest honor of my life that's been bestowed upon me. So I got a lot of thank yous that I'd like to cover today, if you'll indulge me. And the first thank you actually is to my colleague, Jan Harnick. I just had my predecessor here. I have to say that from the day I first met her, she came to my office and wanted to kind of enlist my help in advocating for the CV Link. And from that day forward, she's been a great example and a mentor on how to carry yourself as a city council person. She has such a terrific way of looking at issues and being very, very thoughtful and deliberate. So thank you for helping me along the way here. Thank you also to my colleagues, Karina, Gina, and Joe. You have definitely made the last 3 years very productive and collegial and a lot of fun. I just love the way we do business here. I'm so proud to say that we agree disagreeably, and I think we do it very, very well, and it's thanks to you and the way you all approach the job here, so thank you very much. Thank you to my wife, Kristen, of course, for, anyway, thank you. But most importantly, thank you to the residents of Palm Desert who entrusted me with this responsibility. I promise to discharge my duties faithfully, thoughtfully, and with honor. I love the city of Palm Desert, and I promise to serve the city very, very well and to the best of my ability. So thank you all. I know I have some people right here in this audience who helped me get here into this position, and I really, really appreciate all the support over the years, and I absolutely will do my best to serve everybody well. Thank you. Thank you, Karina. I appreciate the offer. We got enough pictures, right, guys? Okay, my brother's an official photographer there. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Excuse me. So we move on to item 12, non-agenda public comments. This time has been set aside for the public to address the City Council on issues that are not on the agenda for up to 3 minutes. Because the Brown Act does not allow the City Council to act on items not listed on the agenda, council members may briefly respond or refer to the matter to staff for report and recommendations at a future meeting. And City Clerk?
For those on Zoom, if you want to participate in public comment, please click the raise hand button on your computer or smartphone. And if you're joining by calling in on your phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand, and when called upon, press *6 to unmute yourself.
All right, and are there any online public comments?
No online comments.
Perfect. All right, I have here 3 blue speaker cards on non-agenda public items. We'll start with Mr. Brad Anderson. Is he here this evening? No? Okay, we'll move on. We have Miss Susie Hauser. She left as well, huh? Wow, 0 for 2. But on number 3, we have Mr. Stephen Nelson for non-agenda. I have this as, non-agenda public comment. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Pro Tem, and members of the City Council, more importantly. Thank you and congratulations on your elections. I'll be direct because the situation calls for accuracy. There's been far too much confusion about who the responsible parties are under the Millennium-specific plan. And that confusion's created real costs and real frustration for the residents of Genesis and its surrounding communities. First, PDUG, Palm Desert University Gateway, which is currently led by Mr. Dotan, is the landowner and the current Master Association lead. He's not the builder. He didn't construct Genesis or the surrounding parcels. The entity that did build and the one responsible for the unmet obligations is Palm Ventures PA-1. And the list of what they failed to deliver is substantial. The border trees and perimeter wall, the landscaping trees required under the approved plan, monument sign, entrance art, 5 years of median maintenance, maintenance of the drainage facility, sidewalk installation, and the channel cleaning. These are not minor details. They were core commitments, so when it was stated that Genesis was in agreement with the narrative presented earlier, that's simply not accurate. Here's what did happen. PDUG stepped in good faith to cover the items that Palm Ventures should have completed. That's only after years of myself and my board pushing for accountability from the correct party. I also want to remind this council that I stood right here and urged you not to release the performance bonds. Those funds could have covered the $45,000 Mayor Truby you asked about earlier. The city has now absorbed. But the bonds were released quickly and without verifying the issues you already knew that were unresolved. So when I hear the remark that the city may need to bite the bullet and maintain the medians to the Palm Desert standards, I have to push back. As a taxpayer, I take issue with being told we must pay twice, once for an entity's failures, and again through selective enforcement of the agreement against Genesis. Let me clarify one more point. Genesis has always maintained our internal drainage systems. The city has those on record, but the main drainage facility went unmaintenanced for 7 years.
Okay, we are at the 3 minutes, Mr. Nelson.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Okay, we move on to item 13, the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one motion. The public may comment on any item on the consent calendar for up to 3 minutes. And are there any online?
No online speakers?
Terrific. Well, I have one blue card here from a Miss Luann Thielke. I believe I pronounced it correctly. Thank you. And this is in regard to item 13J. Is that correct? Okay, very good. You can approach the speaker and dais there, or microphone. And just for clarification, item 13J is HIJ. We are looking at resolution approval, final tract map number 3926.
Correct.
Very good.
Good evening. We know that it's residential, and we concur with that. Of course, we like the first plan that wasn't built when the houses were going to be sideways instead of back to back. Our concern is the 10-foot setback. That's just not adequate between developments. This has been done by your planning commission and will probably go through. So our suggestion is if nothing can be done on this development, that you reconsider other future developments. 10 feet is not enough. It just is not. So that's the only concern. It's not that it's residential. That's what it's zoned for. That's great. And so if nothing's done here, maybe you could look at future developments and do a better setback. The lot behind us, as an example, are going to be less than 2,200 square feet. My folks had a condo in Chaparral. They bought when it first opened in 86 or 87. It was 2,200 square feet. My sister's there, 2,200 square feet. And I think of a house on a lot that size, it's going to be pretty compact. And so there really isn't any space. Thank you.
And can I ask for just one point of clarification?
Sure.
Mr. City Clerk, could you please state your address?
38740 Desert Greens Drive East in Palm Desert Greens.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
your help.
Okay.
Move the balance or move consent?
Second.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Staff would like to request item 13N pulled for separate discussion, and this is related to the moving expenses and parking agreement for the Food and Agricultural Department.
Very good. So we will vote on the balance besides 13N.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nestandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Truby.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. The first item removed for separate discussion was item 13N, like Nancy, and this is moving expenses associated with relocation of the California Department of Food and Agriculture from the Parkview Building and parking space lease with the state of California for the use of 10 designated parking spaces at 73710 Fred Waring Drive.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Martin Alvarez, Director of Economic Development. The California Food and Agricultural Department is the last tenant at Parkview. As you know, the library project's moving forward. We've negotiated a relocation for this tenant. There are some moving expenses that we're recommending approval of. But we were just recently informed that they no longer need the 10 parking spaces on site, which were going to be via an agreement, a lease agreement. So we have written confirmation that they no longer need the parking spaces, and we'd like to recommend that we remove number 2 of the recommendation. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from my colleagues?
May I make a motion? Okay, so I move item, I'm sorry, 13N, as it is presented, 1, 3, and 4, excluding number 2.
I'll second.
Very good.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Trubie.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. On to item 14A, an introduction of an ordinance deleting section 2.52.555 of the Palm Desert Municipal Code to remove outdated email retention provisions. And may we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, Damon Olivares, Senior Deputy Clerk. Tonight, staff is recommending an introduction of an ordinance to remove outdated email retention language from the Palm Desert Municipal Code. That was adopted back in 2012 and no longer reflects the city's current records management practices. Earlier this year, City Council approved an updated citywide records management policy and revised retention schedules. These documents now serve as the authoritative source for all city records and record-keeping requirements, which also include the email retention. Removing the outdated retention language from the ordinance will eliminate any inconsistencies and ensure that email retention is governed by the appropriate policy and records retention schedules. And I'm available for any questions.
All right. Any questions from my colleagues? Yeah. Councilmember Quintanilla.
Thank you. Great to see you. I know that there was a lot of work that was put into getting the language and everything consistent. I know this is a concern that I had raised in the past, whether it's enough time, as I'm thinking so many of our projects get drawn out for a long time, pause, and come back. Is there a way to know if an email that was kept that long, can we just say, we're so sorry, we don't know what happened, there's no record of what those conversations were, if they come back after that time?
Yeah, and so the citywide records management policy and the records retention schedules only require a 2-year minimum. It's just the minimum. And of course, those records could always be kept longer. It's up to staff to identify those emails and make sure that they are archived appropriately. So yes, definitely, we could always hold them longer than the 2-year. It's just the 2-year minimum. And the way the current ordinance reads, or sorry, the municipal code reads, it's 3 years plus an additional 2, so creating a 5-year retention, which is then creating that inconsistency with the policy and the retention schedules as well.
Perfect, that was my concern. Again, there's starts and stops, and how do we make sure that there's continuity, as mentioned previously, that if the developer isn't following through, and there needs to be the email trail. So thank you, much appreciated.
Perfect. Councilmember Quintanilla, if I could just add, there's also litigation holds. So if we were served with a litigation hold, we would retain any documents that pertain to that litigation until the case is resolved.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Very good. Any, I guess I will open it up now for public comment. Any online?
No online public comments.
And nobody here wants to talk about it? All right. Anybody have a motion?
Move.
Second.
There we go.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Trubie.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we now move on to item 14B. Introduce an ordinance amending Title 15 of the Palm Desert Municipal Code to adopt the 2025 California Building Standards Code by reference with appendices and local amendments and scheduling a public hearing. Take it away.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council. I'm Jason Finley, your Chief Building Official. Before you this evening is an ordinance
for adoption and incorporation of local amendments of the 2025 model building codes. Did I do it right? Yes, I like it when that happens. Just a quick background. Every 3 years, the California Building and Standards Commission revises, adopts, publishes the California Model Building Codes. These revisions are to update, to clarify existing regulations, propose new ones, and to ensure that the safety health of California buildings are intact. We also use these opportunities to revise and update responsible energy and green building conservation. The official adoption date is July 1st, 2025, with implementation a couple of weeks from now, January 1st, 2026. New this model code cycle is the California Wildland Urban Interface Code, affectionately known as WUI. I didn't make that up. That's what we're supposed to call it. And it's designated to promote defensible landscaping in areas, ignition-resistant construction, and fire service access. Now, by default, all jurisdictions, cities and counties, fall under the 2025 California Model Codes come January 1st. However, the Building Commission allows local jurisdictions to have the authority to modify these California codes to fit kind of our jurisdictions. These modifications are based on geographic, climate, and topographical conditions, and for permitting and streamlining. So, with that, there's just a couple of highlights I just want to bring to your attention. We do modify the fire code with recommendations from the Fire Marshal's office. Usually these are local incident command procedures and structure. There'll be designed water and fire flows and fire sprinkler requirements that just kind of fit Palm Desert. We utilize the city's fee schedule rather than the ones that the commission provides in each model code. We also, new to Palm Desert, is every dwelling unit shall be provided with air conditioning facilities capable of maintaining a room temperature of not more than 80 degrees. And this is important because currently the code says you have to maintain heat at 68 degrees. And although this is a temperate climate and it's wonderful in the winter, there's not really a big threat of freezing, although we do get it. However, a hot building can be dangerous. And we feel that 80 degrees, although may not be comfortable for some, will keep you relatively safe throughout the summer. If you've seen those commercials where the truck drives up to the house in the middle of a big storm, plugs it in, and lights up the house, well, we now have provisions in the electrical code that you can temporarily power a residence from an electric vehicle. And, I'm out of order here. I'm out of order, you're out of order. I can just do this from here. Some of our local amendments for permit administration is restricting complex electrical and mechanical permits to licensed California contractors. These are going to be in the areas of electrical and mechanical. Currently, the code says a property owner or contractor can pull a permit. However, we feel that some of the more complex items of the electrical code, like a main service panel, whether residential or commercial, or a changing out of your air conditioning, those require special licenses, and we want to restrict those to California licensed professionals. We added language to the demolishing of buildings and that process of permitting to kind of speed that up for internal use. And we added language to temporary certificates of occupancy so that we had a better permit administration of that. We can allow people to get into areas of the building a little bit safer, maybe when construction's just not quite finished. In October, the governor signed the California Assembly Bill 130 was enacted. And what this introduced restrictions to residential buildings, includes a 6 and a 10-year moratorium on residential building standards, and in an effort to stimulate housing. How this affects Palm Desert is the 6-year moratorium of local amendments, kind of what we're doing now, has to stay in place for the next 6 years. So we can always increase the code, we can always be more restrictive, but we can never take a step back. And sometimes that is costly to property owners and constituents. So this kind of places a freeze on that for the next 6 years. The 10-year moratorium is more geared towards developments and those larger projects, to where if they're currently permitted under the 2022 building codes, they would have to, when 2025 comes, have to update those plans and so forth in the next code cycle in 2028. That can be costly with the different provisions that comes through the State Building Commission. And so what they said is that's a freeze. So if you're under the 2022 now, that you can stay with that for the next 10 years with certain little parameters, but that really made our development community happy because those are costly in design and implementation. That does come with some challenges. Unless a jurisdiction can justify the changes in the key areas of emergency standards, home hardening, which is wildland urban interface, general plan alignments, sometimes the state can reject these. And we feel that when we partnered with the city attorney's office, most of our tweaking and local amendments are administrative, except for the air conditioning, and I think that's life, health, safety. But most of it is administrative, and we're pretty confident that they will not reject it. If they do, we already have a plan B in place, and we can address most of this with internal policies. Next steps, if approved, is a January public hearing, and then after that, we'll be filing the ordinance with the California Building and Standards Commission, and as well as the California Department of Housing and Community Development. Staff recommends approval of the ordinance and moving forward with the public hearing. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Finley. Appreciate that. Any questions from my colleagues? Joe.
I had a comment, not a question.
Mr. Cool is like the go-to DIY mini-split air conditioning unit.
Yes.
This change will prohibit property owners from installing them themselves?
No. These were mini splits are that you can buy at Home Depot, Lowe's. Those are DIY friendly. What we're talking about is when you do a conventional upgrade to your house, the refrigerant requires a special license to have, and not anybody can do that. And we wanted to make sure that our local HVAC contractors who have that license can install that, because if it's done incorrectly, it can be dangerous.
Councilmember Quintanilla, do you have a question?
Actually, that brought up a question to mind. Can you repeat what you were talking about, a truck pulling up to power a home? I hadn't heard of that.
Yes.
So how clarify what exists and what we're proposing or regulating?
Well, with the advent of EV vehicles, somebody came up with the bright idea of how can we power a house from this? And so through the electrical code, they provided provisions in which we adopted that now have a safe transfer of electricity to temporarily do that in a power outage or storm. I thought that was kind of cool myself. Of course, I'm a code geek, so I like all this stuff.
So that would be something that could be used, for example, in apartments as well, or individual homes?
It doesn't necessarily regulate the type of occupancy, but I would definitely say that if it went beyond a simple EV charger at a single-family residence, we would probably want to study that more, put some policies in place. I know that it's not necessarily for a large commercial complex. Those are the types that a generator would have, or a large battery system. You would use that type of application, but this is more for your single-family property owner, I just want to power my refrigerator so I don't spoil my food during the storm that we have here twice a year.
That's very, very great to hear. And so I was just thinking in terms of multifamilies, or if we know in advance that SCE will have a power outage, if there's a way that we can say now this is acceptable, not necessarily that we would be promoting an individual agency or business, but to say this is available.
Yep, it is one of the
great.
options of many.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
Terrific. Anything else? All good? Okay. Thank you very much. I will open up to public comment. Anything online?
No online public comments.
Terrific. And I don't see any speaker cards, or nobody here is to speak on the issue, so there we have it. All right, do we have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Niscandy.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Trubie.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, we move on to item 14C.
A resident said she had left a phone up here somewhere. There it is.
All right. Very good. Okay, item 14C, a resolution directing staff to prepare amendments to Chapter 8.5 of the Palm Desert Municipal Code and create drilling and maintenance permit requirements and conditions for water wells. Staff report.
Good evening, Mayor Truby, members of the City Council, Pedro Rodriguez, Code Compliance and Support Services Manager. The item before you is a resolution to direct staff to prepare amendments to Chapter 850 of the Municipal Code to make changes to our existing ordinance in reference to local drilling requirements. So currently, private companies that come in to drill private wells have to go through the County of Riverside. We really have very limited local control to conduct any enforcement activity or permitting. So this ordinance would direct staff to go back to the drawing board, work with the county. So in the proposed staff report, there's some key provisions that I've included that are essential for this ordinance, such as them to submit site plans, timelines, construction fencing, and just things that would increase the quality of life for the surrounding residents during construction. The financial bonding and so forth, in case they fail to complete the project, we have something to fall back on to restore the site or make any enforcement action or pay ourselves back for abatements. Monitoring and more enforcement tools where we could actually issue citations, stop work, and so forth. The county will hold primary authority over issuing this. We will not be able to stop the county from issuing permits, but we will have the ability to bring them to the table, create a permit process so that we can review and condition and enforce and monitor, and then recommend site restoration at the end. So you have my staff report. If I have any further questions, I'm here to answer them.
Any questions from my colleagues?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Thank you for responding, and the team that responded. I know this has been a problem up in part of our city, and this is a good response. Thank you.
I agree. With Councilmember Harnick, I know we had an issue, and I felt like city staff did the best they could under the kind of restricted powers that you had. So I appreciate you expanding that. Quick question, though. How often are substantial wells drilled within our city limits? Any idea?
It's hard to say. I think we've had 2 in the last 3-4 years, and they've been dead center in residential districts where that's where the quality of life gets affected the most. And I think this proposal that we would bring to you in the future would give us better tools to be able to handle those situations.
Terrific. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you. Anything from Joe?
Agree with
There were no online comments.
Oh, very good. I beg your pardon. Yeah, and I don't see any public comments, no blue cards. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
yes.
Mayor Truby.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. Thank you very much. We move on to item 14D, a resolution establishing the Spay-Neuter Partnership Program and rescinding the pet reimbursement policy. We have a staff report, looks like, from Mr. Daniel Hurtado. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Truby, members of the City Council. Daniel Hurtado, Public Safety Analyst. Give me 1 second to prepare. Tonight, staff will be presenting the proposed Animal Samaritan Spay and Neuter Partnership Program and the accompanying resolution to resign the city's existing pet reimbursement policy and replace it with a more effective voucher-based model. To give some background, the city's pet reimbursement program has been in place since 2010 and expanded several times to include spay and neuter, vaccinations, microchipping, and adoption reimbursements. Despite those expansions and participation, it has remained very low. Only 42 residents since 2020. In contrast, earlier this year, City issued 90 direct use spay and neuter vouchers, and they were all claimed within 1 week. This clearly shows that residents respond far more to a simple no-cost voucher system. The Animal Services Subcommittee reviewed this issue on October 30th, 2025, and recommended moving to a voucher-based program with 100% cost coverage up to a funding level of $50,000 annually. Today's participation numbers tell a straightforward story. Since 2020, an average of 10 residents per year have used the current reimbursement model. Residents have consistently shared that the reimbursement process, submitting receipts forms, and proof is cumbersome and discouraging. In contrast, the direct voucher distributed in 2025 demonstrated a strong demand. Residents clearly prefer a simple and direct access with no upfront costs. There are several reasons why a change is necessary. The current model sees low utilization. Residents must submit documentation and backup. Residents are overwhelmingly prefer a voucher rather than paying out of pocket and seeking reimbursement. Reimbursements delay access and reduce participation. Administrative workload is high, but the community impact is low. The existing structure is not aligned with how residents want to access services. The proposed program transitions the city from a reimbursement model to a voucher-based model. Key features include 100% cost coverage for spay and neuter procedures, including microchipping, up to 4 animals per household, which will be consistent with Title VI of the Municipal Code. Residents are automatically eligible and only need to show proof of residency. Vouchers will be issued at the Palm Desert Library, which will improve accessibility and outside of normal business hours here at City Hall. The program removes barriers and delivers a simple, equitable, and cost-efficient service. What is covered will be surgical labor, anesthesia, medications and supplies, pain management, take-home items, and microchipping. The average total cost is $220 per animal, which allows the city to maximize the impact of the $50,000 allocation. How the program will work is residents will obtain a city-issued voucher from the Palm Desert Library. The voucher will be valid for 60 days. The resident provides a voucher to Animal Samaritans at the time of service. Animal Samaritans perform the procedure. They submit a monthly invoice to city for all completed vouchers. There is no out-of-pocket cost unless the residents elect optional services that are not covered. This approach ensures simplicity for residents and predictable administrative oversight. The partnership will include multiple benefits which remove financial barriers for residents, encourage responsible pet ownership, supports animal welfare by reducing pet overpopulation, reduces shelter intake, and improves community safety. This will ensure city's efficient use of funds and it will reduce admin workload. This is a straightforward, high-impact service model. Funding for the program is already available in Animal Resources and Programs account. The proposed allocation is $50,000 per fiscal year with a 3-year not to exceed $150,000. This funding level was endorsed by the Animal Services Subcommittee. Importantly, there will be no impact to the general fund because these funds come from an available balance in existing animal services budget. Before moving to the recommendation, I did just want to highlight the Animal Samaritans and who they are. An overview is that they're a nonprofit which began serving the Coachella Valley in 1978. Their mission is to improve of animals and the people who care for them. Some of their core services are no-kill shelter, affordable veterinary care, rescue operations, humane education, and animal-assisted therapy. They have 3 locations here in the Coachella Valley, which will be Thousand Palms Veterinary Clinic, Indio Veterinary Clinic, and the no-kill shelter adoption, also in Thousand Palms. Some of the key services and their community programs are that they are a no-kill shelter and they have adoption services for abandoned, stray, and owner-surrendered animals, affordable veterinary care, exams, vaccines, diagnostics, special care, urgent care, animal companion therapy, which services local hospitals, senior centers, schools, and care facilities. Humane education programs promote reasonable pet ownership and their animal safety. And that was just to highlight a quick background for the Animal Samaritans. So I'll move forward and staff will present 2 options to the City Council tonight. One will be to maintain the current program and continue the existing pet reimbursement program, or option 2, which would be to adopt the resolution and then do an allocation of $50,000 from the unencumbered Animal Services Fund. And that'll be staff's presentation for this evening. And I'm here to answer questions. Thank you.
Okay, any questions from my colleagues? Jan?
The staff report has a recommendation that looks much like option 2. Am I reading that correctly?
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Anybody else?
Option 2.
Option 2. Okay. Trina.
One comment is to thank the mayor for all of the work that we've done together for staff, for our code department. Thank you, Pedro, for all of the work that this has come together. And to explain why we got there, because we've heard some people that are in favor or oppose, we made the recommendation within the committee that the more we can offer now, the greater the impact, and we can have less pets in the meantime instead of dragging it on for many years and hoping people catch up. So we're hoping to offer more services in the beginning and hoping for a greater impact. And I'm proud of the direction we're going in.
I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. What really struck me about this whole process is it was like an exercise in psychology. I mean, the same amount of money is, devoted there, the same opportunity to get your animal spay or neuters there. You just flipped how they get reimbursed. And kudos to the staff for figuring that out and implementing it so successfully. It was really, really clever. It was a great program. I will say I'm the liaison to our Riverside County Animal Services, and at the last meeting last week, I brought up the success of this program in the public on the comments section period, and I can say it was well received, and it may be contagious among our fellow cities. They may adopt a similar program because they're looking. Obviously, there's a problem in the county or in a Coachella Valley with too many pets, not enough demand, and this will help us get ahead of it, hopefully. So, great job. Are there any public comments online?
No online public comments.
All right, I see no blue cards, so anybody want to make a motion?
I make the motion to approve staff recommendation 2.
I'll second the motion for option 2.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Truby.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. All right, we move on to item 15, public hearings. Item 15A in the public hearings is approve addendum to general plan EIR, environmental impact report. Was that correct, Anthony? EIR? All right, I got that right. Updated mobility element and updated transportation study and guidelines. And we have a staff report from Mr. Carlos Flores.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, Carlos Flores, Development Services, here to present on a very, very grand effort that we are proud to present in front of you today. Before I turn it over to Mr. Brian Wolf from Farron Pierce to do a presentation on the topic, I again wanted to present that we are proposing an update to our circulation element, which includes an addendum to our environmental impact report. I just wanted to highlight before I turn it over that this really was a collaborative effort between different departments in our city, Public Works, Capital Projects, and Development Services, as well as input from you all, and we're really appreciative of all of that, as well as former staff, some of which I know are listening in, Mr. Nick Maloney, who started this project off. So I just wanted to thank anyone and everyone that commented on this. But with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Brian.
Perfect.
Online, and I will control the presentation for you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Carlos. And thank you, council members. We're here this evening to give the final update on all the changes to the mobility element. So yeah, this wraps up 16 months of work. We've been hard at work engaging with different city departments. I want to highlight some of the past community engagement that took place. We came before council in February to highlight some of the key issues in the city and some of the initial alternatives. In June, we heard loud and clear from council that the Portola interchange is a long-term transportation priority for the city. So that is going to be incorporated into this mobility element update. Then in September, we presented some of the key changes to both the active transportation subcommittee as well as council. And then last month, we had a public hearing with Planning Commission where we received a lot of positive feedback for the proposed changes to the goals and policies. Next slide. So speaking of those new goals and policies, there are 3 main areas I wanted to highlight before council. A lot of these address some of the legislation that's come out since 2016 when the last general plan was updated. The first one relates to safety and adopting a Vision Zero goal and the safe systems approach. And this builds off of the Vision Zero action plan the city recently adopted, as well as international movement to address fatalities and serious injuries on our roadways. It includes safety improvements for high injury roadways, updated or policies to promote updated design standards, and new safety education programs. The next area is vehicle miles traveled, or VMT. This is the metric that is used in CEQA for transportation impacts that has come out since the last general plan update. A lot of the policies focus on promoting multimodal travel and encouraging new developments, new development types that minimize the overall burden on the transportation system. And lastly, with transportation resiliency, there are some new policy language in there to ensure that the roadway system can support evacuation needs, and then also can be resilient to extreme heat and other weather hazards. Next slide. So looking at the transportation network changes, 3 areas we wanted to highlight for council. First is that Portola interchange. Again, we heard it is a long-term transportation priority, and the city includes this as part of their mobility element as a first step for this project. Our traffic modeling showed the need for this interchange to address congestion at Monterey and Cook Street. And we'll discuss some action steps for this item at the end of the presentation. The next area is the roadway classifications. We made some minor adjustments to align the general plan with current on-the-ground conditions and accommodate new features to roadways such as buffered bike lanes. The classifications were also updated to include a maximum right-of-way width, and this is to help support objective design standards and Senate Bill 330. And lastly, the bike and golf cart network. The city has a strong foundation and has put a lot of work in since 2016. And so this update looks at identifying and closing those last remaining gaps in the network, as well as coordinating with adjacent cities to promote a regional network. Next area we addressed was truck routes, and this relates to the AB 98 legislation that was adopted in 2024. The truck route changes are intended to avoid sensitive receptors like schools, parks, and other areas where trucks don't necessarily mix well. And this is formally incorporated into the mobility element. Some of the key changes to highlight include removing the truck route designation on Portola Avenue south of Frank Sinatra, and then on Highway 74 south of Highway 111. Finally, the update incorporates new transportation study guidelines that are used for the development review process. It includes adopting local VMT thresholds, which help support CEQA defensibility. These thresholds build off of the current county thresholds and continue to use the same screening criteria that are currently in use by the county. Since level of service is no longer a CEQA metric, it is still being incorporated into the city's transportation study guidelines as a local planning tool to help identify and address congestion. The policy maintains the current LOSD threshold at intersections while allowing for some additional flexibility in the city center area where other priorities for walkability and maintaining a tight street grid are desired. And lastly, with multimodal analysis, incorporating the Vision Zero goal into the transportation review process by having developments review their potential safety hazards and ensuring that all modes of travel, pedestrians, cyclists, and transit users can access projects as well. So looking at next steps, the mobility element is part of the general plan 15 to 20-year horizon. We did prepare an implementation matrix that will help guide the city's actions on this over that timeframe. Some actions we wanted to highlight first is looking at next steps on the Portola Avenue interchange. The city is working with us to explore what the updated costs and next steps would be needed for that. Next is looking at the truck route network and ensuring that signage and online information is provided to help formalize that. And then lastly, as the city's already been doing and we saw tonight, continue to incorporate those safety improvements as part of future capital projects. Next slide. So yeah, that wraps up our effort on this. It's been a pleasure working with the city and happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Looks like we need to move on to, actually we start with any speakers, public comment on this online.
No online public comments.
And no blue cards submitted. I don't see anybody approaching the podium to speak on this. So I will close the public hearing. And is there any discussion among my colleagues here? Questions, comments, everything good? Wow, is there a motion?
What an
then?
amazing process this has been. This has been really wonderful, and I know the city will benefit, but it has really been incredible. And I thank everybody for all the work they did and all their input. It's got a great result. And I am happy to offer the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Truppi.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 15B, reallocation of community development block grant funds and Palm Desert Housing Authority project modification. And we have a staff report from our 35-year veteran. Is that true?
That is very true.
Amazing. God, I forgot to give you kudos that night directly. That was incredible, so.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Lorena Ritchie, Management Analyst for the Development Services. The public notice hearing today before you is for the reallocation of the Community Development Block Grant Funds, CDBG, and for the Palm Desert Housing Authority project modification for fiscal year 24-25. The city received an annual entitlement for fiscal year 24-25, $365,444.46, and the council awarded those funds to different projects on June 27, 2024. One of the programs was for the grant administration. That is for the oversight, compliance, and reporting purposes. There are currently available funds of $14,987.64 ready to be reallocated. Then May 8th of this year, staff came before the City Council because there were available funds from past fiscal years. Council awarded to the Palm Desert Housing Authority $217,756.47 to be used for public infrastructure improvements at any of the 15 properties. Then, during a recent bid preparation for the Candlewood Apartments in October, staff identified that there was a higher priority, where there had been a significant flooding and drainage issue at the Tao Palms Apartments. Staff recommended directing all of the CDBG funds to the Taos Palms Apartments, ready to implement for public facility improvements that would benefit the low to moderate residents of that community. Staff is also asking the City Council that the available funds from the grant administration be reallocated to the Tao Palms Apartments. With Council's approval, staff will reallocate all of the available CDBG funds, which would be $232,744.11, to the Palm Desert Housing Authority, Taos Palms Apartments, to take immediate corrective action on the public infrastructure, maximizing the community impact and ensuring the effective use of the federal funds. With that, staff is available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions from my colleagues? All right, terrific. And at this time, I will open the public hearing on this item. Are there any speakers online?
No online public comments.
No blue cards, nobody approaching the mic. Okay, no further speakers. The public hearing is now closed. And that was an impressive report. You recited that whole thing down to the penny. It was amazing. All right. Any discussion on this item? All right, anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Councilmember Harnick.
Thank you, Ms. Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Truppi.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. Okay, moving on to item 15C. We are going to introduce an ordinance amending Title 25 and Title 26, two-unit projects and urban lot splits, case number ZOA 25-0002. Staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Bobby Keating with the Development Services Department. Today I will be presenting a zoning ordinance amendment, case number ZOA 25-0002, which updates the city's regulations for 2-unit projects and urban lot splits as originally implemented under SB 9. Today's public hearing considers the Planning Commission's recommendation to introduce an ordinance amending the Palm Desert Municipal Code. Under state law, the Planning Commission must review and recommend zoning code amendments before council may introduce an ordinance, which it did on October 21st, 2025. The need for this update is driven by recently enacted Senate Bill 450, which places new limitations and requirements on local SB 9 regulations. To remain in compliance with state law, the city's ordinance must be amended accordingly. Prior to SB 450, SB 9 was signed by Governor Newsom on September 16, 2021, with the goal of increasing housing supply and affordability. SB 9 contains 2 major components. The first is 2-unit projects requiring cities to ministerially approve up to 2 primary dwelling units on a lot in a single-family zone when applications meet statutory requirements. The second is urban lot splits, requiring cities to ministerially approve parcel maps that subdivide 1 single-family lot into 2 legal parcels when state-mandated criteria are met. On December 16, 2021, the City Council adopted Urgency Ordinance 1373, which amended PDMC Chapter 25.34 and added Chapter 26.30 to implement SB 9 locally. This urgency ordinance was readopted on January 13, 2022. On September 19, 2024, Governor Newsom signed SB 450, which strengthens and clarifies SB 9. Key provisions include a 60-day timeline requiring cities to approve or deny complete SB 9 2-unit or urban lot split applications within 60 days, or they are deemed approved. The use of objective standards where cities may apply only objective zoning, subdivision, and design standards that already apply in single-family zones. Expanded state enforcement increases HCD's authority to review local ordinances and actions for compliance and pursue enforcement remedies. And lastly, SB 450's cleanup and clarification provisions corrects ambiguities, fix technical consistencies, and aligns SB 9 with related state housing laws to ensure consistent and enforceable implementation. The ordinance before you updates PDMC provisions related to 2-unit projects and urban lot splits to ensure consistency with SB 450. Developed in coordination with our legal counsel at BBK, the amendments establish mandatory 60-day review deadlines, require reliance on objective standards of the underlying zoning district, and integrate state enforcement provisions. Under the proposed ordinance, the city must approve or deny a complete application within 60 days. If denied, the city must provide written comments identifying deficiencies and how they may be corrected. SB 450 prohibits cities from creating SB 9 specific objective standards, so applicable standards come from the underlying zoning district. By adopting this ordinance, the city maintains local control by ensuring that applicants meet the city's existing objective standards, provides greater predictability for applicants and residents, and reduces exposure to potential enforcement by HCD or the Attorney General. Under Government Code Section 65852.21K and 66411.7N, ordinances implementing SB 9 and SB 450 are statutorily exempt from CEQA. Therefore, the proposed ordinance is exempt because it implements state-mandated requirements. Public notice for this hearing was provided consistent with PDMC sections 25.60.060 with a notice published in the Desert Sun on November 26, 2025, more than 10 days prior to this meeting. No public comments were received prior to tonight's hearing. Staff therefore recommends that the City Council introduce an ordinance amending the Palm Desert Municipal Code to bring the city's SB 9 regulations into conformance with Senate Bill 450. And this concludes staff's presentation. I'm available for your questions.
Terrific. Any questions for Mr. Keating from my colleagues? All good. Okay. Very good. Are there any online comments?
No online comments.
Oh, sorry, I guess I have to formally open the public hearing. I beg your pardon. Okay, no online public comments. I don't see anybody approaching the mic, no blue cards. So I now close the public comments and...
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Thank you for all that you've done to clean up the code. That was something we've known has been very challenging, especially when it comes to housing, because your hands are tied in some regards, and we need to be sure we do it right on our end because we have a housing crisis. So thank you to you and your team for getting through this and for giving us great recommendations. Thank you.
Terrific. Anyone else for comments or questions? All good? Okie dokie. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll move.
I second.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Niscandy.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Yes.
Mayor Truby.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. Okay, on to item 15D, urgency ordinance amending section 25.34.030 relating to ADUs and JADUs. Staff report.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Sihi Fernandez, Senior Planner with Development Services, here to present on an ADU urgency ordinance. So the recommendation is to approve an urgency ordinance under case number ZOA 25-0003. So recently in October, the governor signed 4 bills. AB 462 was enacted as an urgency measure, taking into effect immediately. And then we also have AB 1154, SB 9, and SB 543, which will take into effect January 1st, 2025. So some background, AB 462 is for coastal development permits and disaster-affected areas. This is primarily to address the wildfires that occurred in Southern California. But what it does is if the following occurs, then we're able to issue certificate of occupancy for accessory dwelling units without having a primary unit, or if it's being in the process. So if the governor has declared a state of emergency for the county on or after February 1st, 2025, the primary dwelling unit was substantially damaged or destroyed, an event referenced in the state of emergency proclamation, and also that the ADU has been issued construction permits and passed all required inspections. So only if all of these items apply would this work. For AB 1154, this is for our junior accessory dwelling units. Owner occupancy is required only if the JADU shares a bathroom with the main home. If the JADU has its own bathroom, no owner occupancy is no longer required. For our JADUs are prohibited for being rented fewer than 30 days statewide. Before it was encouraged, now it's being required. We don't allow for ADUs or JADUs with the City of Palm Desert to be used for the purposes of short-term vacation rentals. For SB 9, this is not to be confused with the SB 9 presentation that just passed, but this is for SB 9 2025. The ordinance, it requires us to submit an ordinance to HCD. So cities must submit to HCD within a 60-day timeframe, or else our ordinance becomes invalid. If HCD determines that the ordinance is inconsistent, we have 30 days to submit a response or correct the issue, or else our ordinance also becomes invalid. So we're currently subject to the 60 days, but what this does is it gives it more teeth. So for SB 543, this clarifies ADU size, number of ADUs, impact fees, and permitting timeline. So for SB 543, this defines ADUs and JADUs size limits based on interior livable space. So it kind of clarifies what's counted. For impact fees, ADUs with 750 or less interior livable space or JADUs with 500 or less are exempt from development impact fees. And units under 500 are also exempt from school fees. So one of the changes, which before it was an interpretation, was to allow for the combination of ADUs. So I would say this is one of the bigger changes. So now the law officially allows combining the different types of ADUs. So as an example, for a single family home, before the idea was you would be allowed to have one ADU and one JADU. Now you're allowed to have one ADU, a JADU, and a converted ADU, which means you're converting a portion of your house to an ADU. So now you're allowed to have, as long as it meets the provisions, you're able to have an attached ADU, a detached ADU, and a JADU. So up to 4 units for a single family home. Also continuing on SB 543, cities are now required to meet a 15 business day completeness check, provide comments, and review submittals. So it's just making it more aggressive as far as the review timelines. For the city, we must approve, once the application has been deemed complete for an ADU, we have 60 days from that date to determine whether or not to approve or to deny. And so since now we're required to either approve or deny applications, it creates an appeal process, which is going to be going before our planning commission. So if we, in the event that we end up denying an application for an ADU, they can file an appeal to planning commission. So what we're amending here is Palm Desert Municipal Code Section 2534, 030 for accessory dwelling units. This proposed ordinance is an urgency measure, meaning it will take effect immediately upon adoption. The urgency ordinance will still be followed up with a non-urgency ordinance, subject to the normal procedures. For CEQA, the adoption of this ordinance is exempt from CEQA since it does not apply to, since it applies to adopting the state's regulations. Therefore, the adoption of the proposed urgency ordinance is statutorily exempt under Chapter 13 of Division 1 of Title 7 of the California Government Code section. Public hearing notice went out and was published in the Desert Sun on November 26th of this year. And to date, we have not received any public comment. So staff's recommendation tonight is to adopt an urgency ordinance amending section 253430 of the Palm Desert Municipal Code relating to our accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units to comply with the recent changes in state law and finding that the action to be statutorily exempt from CEQA review under Public Resources Code section 21080.17. That concludes my presentation. Staff is available for questions.
Terrific. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Fernandez from my colleagues? Ms. Quintanilla.
If we can go back to the section where we're discussing SB 543, can you help me understand the visual of how you can have 4? So you are able to have the main dwelling,
Correct.
the separate ADU, and you said up to 4, so you could convert a bedroom or a garage into junior units?
So you would be able to convert your garage into a junior ADU, and you can still convert a portion of your house into an ADU, and then you still would be able to have a detached ADU. So then it would be 3, which previously it was just 1 ADU and 1 JADU. But yeah, that's kind of what the major changes.
And so in the distinction where whether you have your separate bathroom or your own bathroom, What does it mean with the owner present?
So as of right now, you're required, if you have a junior ADU, you're required to record a covenant stating that the owner is going to be occupying one of the units, either the primary unit or the junior accessory dwelling unit. So with this, if you provide a restroom within the JADU, you wouldn't be required to be on-site.
Gotcha. So this, for example, since we don't do short-term rentals, this could be a lease overall or a family member or whatever. Okay.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? All right, very good. I will.
I do.
Go ahead.
I lost it. Oh, what is the volume of applications we have for ADUs and JADUs under this code section?
That is a good question. I would say we see probably a handful a month, if around, looking at the numbers, between 20 to 30 a year.
And we have staff that can comply with the timelines, and we're okay there? That's a rosy question.
Well, it is a state mandate, so I don't think we have a choice. So we will.
All right, terrific. Well, I will now open the public hearing section of this item. Any online public comments? Mr.
No
City
online
Clerk?
public comments.
Perfect. I don't see anybody here to speak on it. No blue cards. So I'll close the public hearing portion. And any comments or anything else from my colleagues?
I motion approval.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes.
Councilmember Nestandi.
Yes.
Councilmember Quintanilla.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetta.
Yes.
Mayor Trubie.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Perfect. Okay. Any informational items we need to take care of or close up shop here? Terrific. Okay. Well, looks like there's no further business to handle. Correct. And at 6:24 p.m. of this day, December 11th, 2025, I do hereby adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll see you in January.